Okay, so I will quickly run through yesterday's class. What all did we look at in the class yesterday? So we started with basic terminologies like heritage, authenticity, reconstruction, repair, restoration, adaptive reuse, and we understood the basics of conservation along with the important terms, right? After that, we also understood what is tangible, intangible heritage, what is cultural, natural heritage. Yes, we looked at preservation, reconstruction, repair, restoration, adaptive reuse. We looked at a question. Then we went on to your modern conservation theory, where we discussed about the Venice Charter and how it was formed, and how ICOMOS was formed to implement whatever Venice Charter was saying. Okay. I think we stopped at this slide, international organizations related to conservation. So now we will go one by one. Chronologically, we will look at these international organizations. So starting with UNESCO, which stands for United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Now, if you look at it, it was formed in 1945. So, somewhere your World War II has come to an end. Okay. And whatever chaos the World War II had caused, it felt that at a global level there should be a certain organization to promote peace. So that is where UNESCO was formed. Okay, so the culture part of what UNESCO deals with is related to your heritage and conservation. Then coming to ICROM, International Center for Study of Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property. So now again, this was formed in the year 1956. So in I think the ninth session of UNESCO, okay, it was there was a conference, general conference held in New Delhi, and that is where it was decided to create an intergovernmental center, which is going to cater to the entire world. Okay, what this center is going to do, what are they going to provide, is look at or basically to study and improve restoration methods. Okay, that is where your ICROM was born. Study of the preservation and restoration of cultural property. What all work do they do? They're dedicated to raising awareness, supporting conservation, along with that, conducting workshops, you know, uh, again, providing technical skills, technical assistance, teaching materials, training opportunities with respect to conservation and the processes of conservation. So that is what majorly the role of ICOROM is. ICOMOS we have already seen. It was formed in 1965 to implement what your Venice Charter is saying. It stands for the International Council on Monuments and Sites. So again, ICOMOS is an NGO. If you see, it is an international NGO. It does not like how we saw ICOROM was formed under your UNESCO, right? So ICOMOS is primarily working as an international NGO, though it works very closely with UNESCO. Then coming to the World Heritage Committee. Yes, Krishna, you have some doubt? You've raised your hand. Yes, Krishna. If you have some doubt, you may just unmute and ask. Okay, by mistake. Fine. Okay. So, yes, next is the World Heritage Committee formed in 1972. Now, this was another conference, the 16th or 17th session of UNESCO, where again it was felt that there should be the convention or the session, the agenda of it was to discuss about the protection of world level cultural and natural heritage. Okay, and that is where this World Heritage Committee gets formed. Now, how many of you have heard that, let's say so and so structure is a UNESCO World Heritage Site? Yes, have you all heard of these statements? Let's say the Kakatiya Rudreshwara temple, if you are aware about it, it has received a UNESCO World Heritage Site status. Right? Or let's say maybe Taj Mahal, UNESCO World Heritage Site, Ellora Caves, Fatehpur Sikri. Now, who is giving that status? It is this World Heritage Committee who is giving that UNESCO World Heritage status. Now, how does it work? Primarily, each country, each member country of UNESCO sends in certain nominations. Okay, how you have those Filmfare Awards, right? There are various films that get nominated, and one movie gets the award, one is the winner. Similarly, various countries, okay, they send in their nominations to be selected by this World Heritage Committee. So every year, this World Heritage Committee meets, they have a meeting, they meet and they scrutinize whatever applications they have received from these respective countries. Okay, and again, it's a huge uh, list of parameters, right from the history of that structure or maybe certain intangible heritage, whatever it may be, the history, the geography, the cultural impact, social impact, all of these things. After all of that is scrutinized, okay, then by vote, it is decided by voting whether this particular site, structure, or particular tradition, whatever it may be, whether that should be given a World Heritage status. Now, once a particular site or let's say monument, etc., receives a World Heritage status, they basically primarily receive funding also for the conservation purposes. Okay, and that is why it is important. Along with that, again, if you see from India in cultural heritage, okay, we have 36 World Heritage sites from India. In natural, we have 7 World Heritage sites. And in the mixed category, there is 1. A mixed category again, mix of your cultural plus natural. And another interesting thing that this World Heritage Committee, okay, when they are deciding, etc., it has 3 advisory bodies. One is your ICOROM, one is your ICOMOS, and one is IUCN. IUCN stands for International Union for Conservation of Nature. Now, because we have our natural heritage also, that is why this IUCN is also important here. Whereas these two primarily deal with your cultural heritage. Okay, let us just go through the list of structures that are there that have been added. So now, again, it's a vast list. I will share this with you as well. Importantly, from your planning perspective or architecture planning perspective, right? Here, now the historic city of Ahmedabad, the core historic city, this entire urban settlement was added in the year 2017. Similarly, the core city of Jaipur, okay, which is in the Prastara pattern. This was added in the year 2019. Again, important from Telangana in 2021, Kakatiya Rudreshwara temple or Ramappa temple from Telangana was added. Again, latest addition in 2025 is the Maratha military landscapes of India. And prior to that, in 2023, you have the sacred ensembles of Hoysala architecture in Karnataka and Shanti Niketan in West Bengal. Okay. Along with that, again, architectural work of Le Corbusier specifically is also added in 2016. Again, Chandigarh city is not added. A lot of students get confused. So please note Chandigarh itself is not added. The architectural work of Le Corbusier is added. Fine? Yes. In terms of your natural heritage, you have the Great Himalayan National Park, you have the Kaziranga National Park, Koila Dev, Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, Nanda Devi and Valley of Flowers, Sundarbans, and the Western Ghats. Okay. And in mixed category, you have the Kanchenjunga National Park. Can anyone tell me where is the Kanchenjunga National Park? Yes, anybody? Sikkim, correct. Yes. So now here, if you see again, why is this in the mixed category? Again, this is a part, the Kanchenjunga range or the mountain, it is a range, it is a part of your Himalayan range, right? So that comes under your natural and the tribes that are living over there. Okay. Whatever tribes are there, they form the cultural part. And that is why this becomes your mixed category. Clear? Okay. Let us just take a look at this one. So the latest addition. So again, the Maratha military landscape, so the forts that were built during the Maratha Empire rule, right? So roughly, I think around 11 to 12 major fortifications are there. Most of them in Maharashtra, one in the state of Tamil Nadu. Again, the kind of forts that are there are of various category. So you have certain hill forts, hill forest forts, hill plateau forts, coastal forts, and island forts that were built. Okay. So this one in Salher, this is the one that is in Tamil Nadu. The rest of them all are in your Maharashtra state. Important from your exam perspective and Telangana perspective is this Kakatiya Rudreshwara or Ramappa temple that was added in the year 2021. Okay, why was this important? Why is it considered important, etc.? Now, if you look at it, this is located in your Palampet in Telangana. It is Lord Shiva temple. The construction technique that was used here, okay, the intricate carvings, the construction technique is what has got it the World Heritage status. So if you look at the Vimana of the temple, it is made up of light porous floating bricks. So because they are so light, it is also named as floating bricks. That is why the weight of that roof is reduced. That is one. More importantly, the uh, foundation that is there. Okay, the techniques used for foundation, that is something another important thing. The foundation technique that is used is the sandbox technique. So again, mixture of sand, lime, jaggery, karakaya, certain fruit, etc. All of that has also been added. Now, why was this done? So that all of this acts as a cushioning in case of earthquake, and in case if there is an earthquake, okay, the shock waves that are there, they don't reach the superstructure and that does not get damaged. So the foundation itself will act as a cushion in case of an earthquake. Along with that, if you can see here in these images, these intricate figurine carvings also add to the importance of that structure. So in the exam, question can be that which of the following, okay, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site from Telangana recently added. So one option would be this Kakatiya Rudreshwara temple. Another option could be your, let's say, the Harappan site of Dholavira. Another option could be Shanti Niketan and some other fourth option. Okay. So these kind of questions. So remember this name. Okay. Or along with that, where is it located in Telangana? The village of Palampet. That is important. Yeah. Yes. So this question is from your TNPSC exam. This Telangana, sorry, Tamil Nadu. So try attempting the first one. The term ICOMOS refers to, yes. What is the answer? Anyone? For the first question. No, just because A is marked here, A is not the correct answer, okay? Yes, quickly, everyone, let me know. Okay, so some of you are saying E, C, B, B. Okay, so here the correct answer is option E, because if you see, it is International Council on Monuments and Sites. Okay, so again, all of these options are wrong. It is on monuments and sites. Next one, try out the second one. Yes, second, A. Yes, the existing sound buildings are preserved or retained in their position by the application of certain bylaws and ordinance from the local authority is called as conservation. Okay, the entire process is conservation. So under to do conservation, you are doing maintenance, right? Or you are doing preservation. Modification, you are not doing, definitely. Okay, so here A, second one, A is the correct answer. Next, coming to your charters and doctrinal texts. Now, the most important charters, there are many, many charters in conservation, but the most important ones are what I have listed here in these two slides. So, first one is your Athens Charter in the year 1931. Now, Athens Charter, basically, the initiative for this was taken by Le Corbusier. Okay, it was more from a planning perspective where he spoke about how the city should be made functional, etc. And a part of that charter spoke about you should also look at your historic monuments. Right? So that is what this Athens Charter is about, restoration of historic monuments. Then coming to Venice Charter. We have looked at Venice Charter already. International Charter for Conservation and Restoration of Monuments and Sites. So Venice Charter was inspired, influenced also by your Athens Charter. Now here if you see Athens Charter is talking only about historic monuments and restoration, whereas Venice Charter is talking about conservation and restoration of monuments plus the sites. Okay, here it is only the standalone monuments, not the surroundings in this case. Whereas here it is monuments and surroundings or the sites. Next is Bura Charter. So this is by the ICOMOS of Australia, okay, where they talk about conservation of places of cultural significance. Next is your Florence Charter, again, which talks about historic gardens. So, for example, you have your Shalimar Gardens, right, or the Char Bagh in Mughal architecture that you see. So, in case if I have to do conservation for any of that, this is probably the document I would refer. Next is Washington Charter, Charter for Conservation of Historic Towns and Urban Areas. So, if you look at it, it's talking about a larger scale. Now, how do you remember these? Anybody? Can we apply certain tricks to remember them? Yes, no? Yes, anybody? What can we do to remember this? No, no trick, nothing. Yes, anybody? Come on. Okay, chalo, I will ask you one question. Most of you are students of architecture. Tell me, when I talk about Athens, what comes to your mind first of all? Greek architecture, correct? Now, correct. Now, in Greek architecture, when I talk about Greek architecture, what is it that comes to your mind primarily? Is it your the Pantheon? Not Pantheon, sorry. Parthenon, right? The Greek temples that are there. Yes, no, yes, right? Now, again, it is more of the monument that comes to our mind. So, can I remember it like this, that Athens Charter is talking about historic monuments? Fine. Venice Charter, we already know, we've looked at it yesterday also. Now, this is the base of your today's conservation, the Venice Charter. Next is Bura Charter. Now, can I remember it this way? Now, if you uh, know this word in Hindi, okay, बुरा है, अच्छा है. Are you all aware? Yes, बुरा है is like bad, right? So can I say बुरा है because you're not following the culture? Yes, can I remember it like this? Okay, it's only for remembering. बुरा, culture. Florence, can I say Florence, flower, and then garden? Yes. Washington Charter. I know Washington is the capital of USA. Right. It's not like a small village. It is a large town, large urban area. That is why, can I say it is talking about historic town or urban areas? Yes. Easy to remember because questions will come on this. Okay. Everyone clear with this? So anytime if I ask you, you should be able to answer this without having to mug it up. Okay. Next is your Amsterdam Declaration, which talks about integrated conservation. Means what? Basically, you talk about conservation or whatever conservation process you are doing, you do it with a holistic approach. Okay. The history part, geography part, the whatever other environmental aspects, all of that you take together, planning aspects. Don't do it in an isolated manner, do it with a holistic approach. Next is Granada Convention, which is primarily very Europe centric. Okay, protection of architectural heritage of Europe. Most important, Nara document talks about authenticity. Now, just see, authenticity is so important in conservation that for that we have a complete whole document for authenticity. Clear? Most important ones to remember, all of these and This one. Okay. These two you remember later, but whatever's marked first, remember that. Okay. Clear everyone with this? Now, this is a extensive list of various charters and various texts that are there. If you are interested, you can go through that. But whatever is the most important ones from exam point of view, I have already shared over here. Okay. So again, various texts and charters by ICOMOS, UNESCO, all of these guys. Are yours all? No, no, no. Yours are not important. You'll go mad remembering the years. No. This one? Yes. So these and so Athens Charter, Venice Charter, Bura Charter, Florence, Washington Charter, and your NARA document over here. Okay? Yes, PP, what's your name? Pujita. Okay. Fine. Clear, Pujita? Okay. So this is an extensive list. If you are interested, just go through it. You don't have to remember this entire list. Okay? Chalo. Now coming to conservation practices and tools for documentation. Now again, in terms of conservation practice, if you see, there are primarily three key concepts that need to be understood whether a particular property or a site is worth documenting. And what are the three key concepts? What is the significance of that site? Whether it has its integrity and the context of that site. Okay. Now here again, integrity, significance, we know the historical significance, its impact on the surroundings, area, etc. In terms of integrity, the wholeness and intactness of that property, right? So how intact it is, and in terms of the context, the relevance that the property holds. Now, in if you look at documentation, okay, now we are saying that if the particular property has these three characteristics, then it is worth documenting. But how do I document it? What all can be done for documentation? Now, let's say all of you've gone on site visits. Yes, during your civil engineering or architecture or planning days, all of you've gone on site visits, right? Now, when you go to the site, what all do you do? You just go there, look, and come back. Yes, do you do that? Or what else do you do when you go to the site? Are you're saying you've gone, take pictures. Okay, so take photographs. You do surveys, primary survey, correct, fine. You sometimes, if required, measure the site also, take measurements, right? Talk to the locals. Yes. What else? So again, can I put it in surveys only, talking to locals, part of your surveys? Maybe before going also you do certain studies. Maybe if there are some books available, you go through the books, right? Secondary documentation, or also when you go there, maybe you take down certain notes and points, right? Regarding your observation, etc. Now, similarly, what can I say? All of these are your tools for documentation, right? All of these are tools that you are using to talk about your site, to describe your site, correct? All of you agree with me? Taking photographs is a tool to tell about your site better, right? So again, in terms of your conservation practice, listing inventories, written descriptions, measured drawings, photography, all of these are your tools for documentation. Now, starting with one by one, inventories and listings. Okay. Now, listing of a work, primarily creating these inventories requires three things. That is background research, field work, and data analysis and dissemination. Now, how is this listing done? Now, in terms of heritage, usually in India, these heritage structures are graded. Okay, grade 1, grade 2, and grade 3 structures. Now, can you all tell me which image is this? What monument is this? What structure is this? Yes. Can you guys tell me what structure is this? Yes, Hussein, Gautam, Reshma, Samir, Vaishnavi, Sandeep's heritage structure, but what is the name of this structure, Gautam? Is it Charminar? Is it India Gate? What is it? Right, so this is your India Gate, correct? Now, maybe some of you have visited it, some of you have not visited it also. Okay, like I have not visited it, but I still know this is India Gate. So the point here basically is that whatever is listed in grade 1, okay, these structures are of national importance. Okay, buildings properties in this category are of exceptional national regional importance with unique features and as a landmark to the city or town. But national importance here for grade 1 is very, very important. And again, you cannot, you know, what do you say, do any modification or tampering or nothing of that sort with grade 1 structures. They are in a permanent state of preservation. Okay. Then you have grade 2 structures. These structures, okay, now this is Bikaner House in Delhi. Now, the grade 2 structures are something that have a local importance. They are local level landmarks. Okay. Again, conservation for them is also strict, but not as strict as your grade 1 structures. And then you have grade 3 category structures.
And um,
Yes, Sandeep, you have some doubt? Okay. So grade 3 structures, again, these comprise of buildings or precincts which again are not for permanent retention. Like grade 1, we saw, is always going to be in a permanent state of preservation and conservation. Grade 3, not necessarily. They have local importance, but again, if a structure is added to grade 3, it can also be removed tomorrow. but we cannot do the same for grade 2 and grade 1. Okay, for grade 3 structures, slight uh, you know modifications are also allowed for grade 3. Clear? So that is your inventories, listings. Then coming to measured drawings. Now, what are the types of measured drawings? You have sketches, or you have your scaled drawings that are there. In terms of photography, you have your detailed photography. Again, how is photography helping you know the material, analyze the scale, proportion? Fine. Examples of grade 3 buildings. Now, this one, if you see, this is the Rakabganj Gurudwara again. This is from Delhi. Uh, your local Telangana examples, I will have to look up once. Okay. But again, your city specific, Hyderabad is going to have certain structures that I will share. I will share a list with you for that. Okay. In terms of Telangana. Okay. Next, coming to government schemes. Now, if you look at government schemes primarily from heritage perspective, you have the Hriday scheme, that is Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana, that is there, which is under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. This scheme started in 2015, it ended in 2019. Okay, that in 2019 it has come to an end. But what was the idea behind this scheme? Primarily, that you have your heritage structures, you have your vast historic precincts, plus you have urbanization also happening rapidly. Now tell me that in order to preserve my heritage, should I not let urban development happen? Or vice versa, that in order for urban development to happen, is it okay if I ignore the heritage? Yes, are you all getting my question? Are you all understanding the question? In order to preserve my heritage, is it okay if I don't allow urban development to happen? Or if for urban development to happen, okay, is it okay if my heritage also gets affected because of urban development? Is it okay? We cannot compromise. This is not okay. Absolutely. So there should be a certain midway, right? And that is why this scheme was introduced to preserve your heritage, but also let urban development happen and have a balance in between both. Where your heritage is preserved, urban development is also allowed to happen. Now, the focus here was primarily on 12 heritage cities, namely Ajmer, Amravati, Amritsar, Badami, Dwarka, Gaya, Kanchipuram, Mathura, Puri, Varanasi, Velankani, and Warangal. So these 12 cities were selected, 12 heritage cities were selected, and this scheme was implemented in these 12 cities. Okay. So exam perspective, this full form is very, very important. Okay, everybody clear till here? Yes? Okay. Let, Next, let's move to the organizational framework in India, role of various agencies. Okay, how many of you have visited heritage sites in your life and have seen these kind of boards? All of you have observed, seen, come across. Yes? What all is written over there? Construction date, okay. Historical information, let's say the history, the date. Can I say who constructed it? Who built it? The dynasty. Okay, what else? Materials, okay. Function at that time. Can I say that will be a part of history maybe? What else? Is there any warning also at the bottom? Somewhere here. Yes. In case of vandalism, you will be fined so much rupees, etc. Yes. Have you all ever read that? Plus, what else is written? This monument is protected by, protected under an act by ASI. Correct? That is your Archaeological Survey of India. Right? So, again, Archaeological Survey of India is one of the most important bodies in terms of your conservation and historical monuments across India. Now, if you look at it, let's look at various scales of protection and various organizations. So, again, monuments that are there, your single monuments, okay? For example, let's say your Charminar, that is going to go under ASI. Now, ASI, if you see, every state, every respective state has their own ASI departments. Okay. Coming to heritage sites and historic areas. For example, your Golconda Fort. Okay, a larger site it is, all of you agree? It's not a single monument, but a larger site in whole. So that is going to come under your National Monuments Authority. So for heritage sites and historic areas, you have the National Monument Authority who looks after it. In terms of your planning perspective, okay, basic planning and policy level work, it is the Town and Country Planning Organization, which used to work at a policy level. But on ground, it is your ASI and NMA, National Monument Authority. Plus, you have various NGOs like INTAC, okay, Indian National Trust of Art and Cultural Heritage, who work towards conservation. Now, let us look at the role of these organizations. But before that, let us understand one important, very important act of conservation, the only act that is there, and most important one, that is the AMSAR Act, Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act. So, first, this act came in 1958. Later, it was amended in the year 2010. What does this act say? It clearly defines, okay, what is an ancient monument, what are archaeological sites remains. So it says an ancient monument means what? Any structure, any erection, any monument, any place of interment, any cave, rock, inscriptions, monoliths, which is 100 years and above old, has been in existence for not less than 100 years. Means the age should be 100 and above. Then that particular thing would be called as an ancient monument. And again, not necessarily it has to be only a intact structure. It could be an inscription, it could be a cave, it could be a sculpture or anything, but 100 plus. That is an ancient monument. Archaeological sites and remains. Now, if you see Hampi Badami, right, in Hampi, there you have more of it is remains rather than intact structures. So that is again my archaeological sites and remains. Again, that is also existing for 100 and more years. So that will be called as a archaeological site. Been in existence for not less than 100 years. Okay. Then protected monument. Any ancient monument which is declared to be of national importance under this act is a protected monument, and the area around whatever, let's say this monument, the area around that monument which is of national importance, that area will be your protected area. Okay, the archaeological site remains, whatever is there, that will be your protected area. Now coming to the most important regulation of this act, pay attention over here. Okay, what it says, it clearly defines prohibited and regulated areas. Now quickly tell me, what is more strict, regulated area or prohibited? What is more strict? Prohibited is more strict. All of you agree, right? So what it says, now let us assume, okay, this yellow circle that you are seeing this is your monument. This blue line, blue circle that you are seeing, let us assume it is your protected area. Okay. What it says, this act says that from the boundary of your protected area, if I do 100-meter offset, okay, if I do 100-meter offset, all of you use the offset command in AutoCAD. You've used, right? So if I do that offset of 100 meters, that is going to be my prohibited area. Okay, so even if my protected area shape is like this, that offset will be in that manner only of 100 meters. From the border of your prohibited area, if you put another offset of 200 meters, that is going to be your regulated area. Is this clear? Everybody? So in prohibited area, you are not allowed to do any activity. But in regulated areas, certain activities are allowed, not all. Okay. Again, temporary structures, let's say, maybe toilet facilities, certain temporary structures, those can be allowed. Again, not all kinds of activities are allowed in regulated also. So prohibited area is 100-meter from protected area. Regulated area is 200-meter from prohibited area. Okay, is this clear, everybody? Yes? Okay. Now coming to the role of ASI and National Monument Authority. So this NMA that you see, this got formed under this 2010 Act. Okay. Under the 2010 amendment, National Monument Authority got formed. It works under the Ministry of Culture. Now, if you look at this image here, you have this blue color thing as your, let's say, monument, the white portion here as protected area, red prohibited, and orange regulated. So the monument that is there, that will be dealt with by your ASI. Okay. The monument will be dealt with by ASI. The rest of this area that is there, that is going to be dealt with by your National Monument Authority. Okay, for your respective state level also. Now, what is the role of your NMA, National Monument Authority? Recommendations to the government for grading, classifying these monuments, suggesting measures for implementation of the AMSAR Act. Plus, now, sometimes when you have certain projects, you need various kinds of NOC, no objection certificates, right? So when it is for heritage structures around, when you're constructing around nearby a heritage structure and you need that NOC, it is this NMA who will give. Plus, they analyze what is going to be the impact of public projects, large scale developmental projects, what, how is the impact going to be, etc. Now, for example, let's say you have a particular uh, heritage site and maybe a metro is proposed to pass by, okay, in let's say 500-meter range. What is the impact of this metro going to be on this structure? Should it be allowed in such proximity? Because again, when you are going to do the construction for required for that metro, right, you're going to dig underground. The vibrations, how will they impact my structure here? Should it be allowed so close or should it be taken little further away, etc.? All these details, all these impacts are again studied by your National Monument Authority. Is this clear, everyone? And with again, whatever recommendations are given by them. Fine. Then you have intact. How many of you have heard of intact? Yes, no. Have you heard of the organization intact? No. No. Okay. So again, this is a very old NGO which works towards conservation. In Hyderabad also, I'm sure there is an intact chapter that is there. Okay. So the intact branch, different cities have their different chapters. So in Pune there is one, in Delhi there is one, in Hyderabad also there is one intact. What work do they do? Primarily, it is creating awareness regarding your heritage. Along with that, instilling a sense of social responsibility for the people. And how are they doing this? By conducting your heritage walks, quiz competitions, workshops. Okay. So, again, one primary purpose is spreading awareness. Along with that, they also take up conservation projects for your various monuments, various structures, plus they also provide training regarding your conservation process, restoration, etc. Okay, so that is along with that, they also work closely with your urban local bodies to help them again frame the building bylaws that are there with respect to your heritage structures also. Fine. So remember the full form of intact, the role of intact as well. Let us move to questions now. Is everyone clear till here? Okay. Try attempting this. This is from UPSC examination. Which of the following is not associated with protection of cultural heritage? Correct. It is option D. We've seen ICOROM is there, ICOMOS is there, and UNESCO is also there. So ICOROM, this is something which does not exist and has no relation with your heritage. Okay. Yes. Some gate questions. International Guideline for Conservation Restoration of Monuments and Sites recommended by ICOMOS is known as. Yes, I want all of you to answer quickly. Reshma, Samir, Sandeep, Pujita, Gautam, Kanan, Hussain. Correct. So your option A, that is your Venice Charter. Now, of course, otherwise also if you see, put common sense, use common sense. Okay, ICOMOS was formed to implement everything that Venice Charter says, right? So of course, it is going to recommend Venice Charter only. Yes. Venice Charter led to the establishment of. Yes, that is your ICOMOS. Now here I will tell you another, you know, technique of elimination using complete pure common sense. At least getting 50% probability right. Now, see, I know Venice Charter. Okay, let's assume you have no idea about this question. But if you read the question carefully, Venice, we know Venice is a place not in India, it is abroad. Correct? It's an international destination, not in India. Now, if you read these options carefully, okay, first is something international center. Maybe this could be the answer, or it could be this International Council on Monuments and Sites. Option C, Indian National Trust. I know Venice is something international. This is talking about Indian organization. So can I delete option C automatically? Then Archaeological Survey of India. Again, this is talking about Indian context. I know this is something to do, question is something to do with international level. Can I delete option D also? So then you have option A and B that is left. So here your probability of getting the correct answer has gone up from 25 to 50%. Clear? Okay. Yes. Okay, this I wouldn't expect you to know. Okay, but in 2018, it was the Victorian Gothic Art Deco architecture of Mumbai that was added to the UNESCO World Heritage List. So you can get this similar question in context of Telangana for 2021, okay, and the Kakatiya Rudreshwara temple. Yes, so 2019, it is your walled city of Jaipur. Ahmedabad was in 2017, Jaipur in 2019. Okay, yes, try this. Washington Charter is what? I know for historic town. So P has to be 5. Can I delete option A and option D here? Florence Charter, Florence Flower Garden, Q is 1. Which amongst this is Q1? Can I say option C is correct here? I don't even have to look at what is the next. This is how you are supposed to solve the match the followings. Clear? Yes, everybody? Or another way to look at it, if you read these options, I know authenticity is something to do with NARA document. So यहाँ पे, if you see, there is no NARA document written. So can I say wherever option 3 is there in this, all of that is wrong. So automatically again A and B gets cancelled. You can use this method also. Yes, try this. Okay, I'll help you with this one. Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, Mumbai. This is Victorian Gothic architecture. Okay. Walled city of Jaipur is a reflection, interchange of Hindu and Mughal ideas. Kumbh Mela. What would Kumbh Mela be? Will it be a cultural route, interaction between people and landscape, or intangible cultural heritage? Yes. Can I say Kumbh Mela is intangible cultural heritage? Yes, right? So, and rock shelters of Bhimbetka, interaction of people and landscape. So P is 3. Here, let's delete these two. Q is 4. So again, option B is the correct answer here. Okay. Yes. Which act stipulates prohibited area of 100 meter around centrally protected monuments in India? Correct. Your AMSAR Act 2010. Okay. Again, this is again, I would not expect you to know this. This is more from, core architecture. But I will just let you know that this Maitreya Buddha temple in Ladakh, okay, it got the UNESCO Asia Pacific Heritage Award. It was worked upon, the work was done by Abhanaren Lamba for this project. This kind of question will not come for planning perspective. Okay, planning exam. Yes. Which of the following sites are included in the UNESCO World Heritage List as on 2022? Now, this was a MSQ question in GATE, so here more than one is a correct answer. And this is only for GATE examination. Again, it will not happen in your planning paper. So here it is option A and B which are the correct ones. Now, From exam perspective, you need to know the heritage list for Telangana. Okay. Yes. Again, would you all like to try this one? Okay. Now, walled city of Jaipur. City from Mughal era, planned as a whole with architectural ensembles constructed in 16th century. No. Timber-based architecture of historic city. No. Conceived as a single phase in the 18th century gridiron pattern. Prastara plan from Vastu Shastra. Yes. So P is option 3. If you see, B and A are already gone. Okay, Prastara pattern and all we will learn in planning process, so don't worry. Fatehpur Sikri, this is a Mughal city that was built. All of you know Fatehpur Sikri, right? Then group of monuments at Hampi. This is Hampi is your Vijayanagar Empire and Dholavira Harappan city. This is what your Indus Valley civilization. Proto-historic Bronze Age urban settlement. So here option C is the correct answer. Okay, clear? Okay. This is from TNPSC exam. This is the least importance in an inventory sheet used for documenting heritage buildings. Which is the least important? Name, photo, age of building, address, map, location of building, document name of the person who is documenting, date of documentation, or photo of person who has documented. So photo of person who has documented is the most unnecessary or least important thing, right? Name of building, photo of building, age of building, very important. Where is it located? Address is very important. Person who is documenting is also very important because tomorrow if I have some doubt, I can go back to you and ask you, right? So least important is the photo of that person who's documenting. That doesn't matter. Okay. The physical material of a building or artifact is called as. Yes. What had I told you? Building is also referred to as what? Built fabric, if you remember. we had discussed in yesterday's class, right? So your option C is your correct answer. Yes. Which of the following cities was first declared as World Heritage City by UNESCO? This is from your HPSC ATP examination, okay? First World Heritage City. No, it is option D, Ahmedabad. We saw, right? Option Ahmedabad was declared in 2017, Jaipur in the year 2019. These are not in the list, okay? What I had mentioned also from planning perspective, Ahmedabad is important. The historic core area of Ahmedabad. Fine? Yes. Which of the scheme is by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs for strategic and planned development of heritage cities in India? Your Hriday scheme? Yes. As per the AMSAR Act, prohibited area around a protected area or protected monument shall be how much? What is the distance of that prohibited area? We've just seen, right? So prohibited area 100 meter in all directions from the protected area. This is your correct answer. Had it been, okay, had this been regulated area instead of prohibited, what would your answer be? How much distance from prohibited area? Correct. Then we would say it would be 200 meters, right? Again, this is also from your planning examination of Haryana state, right? So we've discussed this. The monument protected area 100 meters from protected area is prohibited area, and then 200 meters is your regulated area. Yes. Full form of Hriday. Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana. Correct. Yes. Venice Charter focuses on. Easy. This is a quite an easy question. Option C, conservation and restoration of monuments. Okay. First Indian city to make it to the UNESCO World Heritage List. We've just solved this. Ahmedabad in 2017. Okay. So this question I think we've already discussed, right? The same gate question is picked up in the Punjab exam of planning. So I'll skip this one. Yes. Similar question again in the Punjab exam. So I'll skip this one also. Here we know it is option D. Okay. So with that, we come to an end for today's lecture and your conservation topic as well. So I hope all of you have understood. Yes, Kannan, you have a doubt?
हाँ मैम,
Yes.
इस क्लास का लास्ट लास्ट कल का क्लास किसमें जाके देखना मैडम? दोबारा दोबारा
Uh,
देखने के लिए मैम।
in the portal, no,
हम्म,
you will be able to see.
पोर्टल में मैडम
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
लास्ट कल का लेसन दोबारा से देखने के लिए आया मैम, आएगा उसमें?
Yes, yes. In your
इस
portal.
ओके मैम, ओके मैम, थैंक
Yeah.
यू। पोर्टल
Okay, I will just show. I will share the screen also and show you once if you want.
मैडम सॉरी मैम, पोर्टल कौन सा पोर्टल में जाना मैम?
Okay, 1 minute, 1 minute. So
यस मैम।
once, just let me share my screen. Okay, is my screen visible? Yeah. So once you've enrolled, right? Once you've enrolled and you go to examassureclasses.com, it will take you to the portal which you have, it will take you to the course which you have enrolled in. Now, once this is your TGPSC course that is there. Now, here on the left hand side, is my screen visible? It's right. So, on the left hand side, if you see here, you will be able to see yesterday's class. If you click on this, here the video is there. Okay, you can
ओके
play
मैम,
that, and here you
ओके
have your notes on the
यस
left.
यस मैम, यस
Okay,
मैम, थैंक यू मैम, थैंक
yes,
यू मैम। ओके, धन्यवाद मैम।
okay, yes. Okay, is everyone clear? Any doubts regarding today's class, whatever we've discussed?
Ma'am, just a quick question.
Yes, Reshma?
Is there a specific radius from the monument that it makes it a protected area? Like, see, for example, from protected, it is 100 meters is a prohibited. So, from a
Correct.
monument, how do we define a
No, no,
protected area
it
for?
will vary. See, it varies across India from monument to monument. Okay, and that is decided by the National Monument Authority, how much protected area and etc. But from once the boundary of protected area is decided, that because it varies from monument to monument, there is no specific number to it. But once that boundary is decided, from there you have specific 100 and 200 meter that is given.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Any other doubt? Anybody? Okay. If no, then we will stop for today. Thank you. Bye bye. Good night.
1 second. I actually
Yes.
missed today's demo class. Can I see the demo class somewhere? Is it-
This I don't think so. It'll be available. The demo class would be available.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
You can
right.
just contact the ExamAssure team maybe once.
Okay.
Yeah, and check.
Tomorrow also you have a demo class?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
ठीक. All right.
मैम, मैम उसमें नहीं ओपन हो रहा मैडम, मैं कन्नन बोल रहा हूँ।
Um, what issue is it showing? What error is it showing?
जो वेबसाइट पे बोला वो वेबसाइट में गया था मैम,
Okay.
उसमें जाने से वो दोबारा कहाँ जाना है क्या है पता नहीं चल रहा मैडम। लॉग इन यूर एग्जाम असुर का अकाउंट करके लिखा हुआ मैडम, उसके
Okay.
नीचे उसके
Okay.
नीचे
एक काम कीजिए. I will give you a number. Okay, you contact them. They will be able to guide you better, much better than me.
ओके मैम,
Because वो इतना मेरे को ये नहीं आता है. So I will just give you the number. I'll type it in the chat box. Okay, 76317666140.
ओके
Okay.
मैडम,
Yes. Sindhuja, your doubts also you can ask on this number. Okay.
ओके मैम,
Yes. Sindhuja?
Yes. Yes. Sure. I'll
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Thank you. Bye bye. Yes.
मैम, थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू,
Thank
थैंक
you.
यू मैम,
Yeah.
थैंक यू मैम।
Yeah.